So they weren't on a campaign to get Israel together under one kingdom again. That's the king's responsibility. So when I hear brothers and sisters say, well, it's a shame that Israel can't come together, all these different doctrines, you know that to some degree, even though it's valiant the way they feel, is a valiant spirit, it's still young in understanding. It's a very young understanding to look out there and say, well, it's a shame why people are cursing people out. It's a shame why people was learning together. Now this guy's teaching this and this guy's teaching that. You have to understand that men's personal motives and doctrines of men pops up within any walk of life. So that's why Paul made it almost a law in the church to assure that the teachers teach the same thing. Let's get that out of the Bible real quick. I'm going to give you some examples with this lesson through the Spirit of the Most High. We're going to give you some examples, and we're going to give you, we will bring out some physical examples to show you why we all cannot come together. Which says we must speak the same things here. Let me get it here. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Listen to this clearly. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 10.
Read it.
Now I beseech you, brethren.
Beseech means to beg. So Paul was actually begging brothers and sisters in the church. Read.
By the name of our Lord Yeshua Christ.
By the name of the Anointed One. Like, here's an example. How can I come together with an Israelite that don't believe in baptism when Christ was baptized? Now, if you tolerate that amongst you when it comes to doctrine, what will happen? The people that will come into the congregation will hear two separate interpretations on baptism. That's a division. You have one guy saying, let's go to the water, and you have another guy saying, well, listen, we need to just read the word because the baptism is done away with. That's confusion. Who's the author of confusion? It tells us in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, that Satan is the author of confusion. Another thing, if we teach that a man or woman wants to dive into judgment like the Bible says, and someone come and say, well, you get reincarnated and get a chance over and over again, and you'll be reincarnated back into the earth, then that would be a division. That means, listen, I'm just showing you some examples of doctrine that's taught amongst Israelites. So if I'm reincarnated, what needed for me to get my life right now? Why should I get baptized when there's no judgment? The worst can happen is you die, which only takes a couple of seconds. It's easy. Death is one of the most easiest things, believe it or not. There's a thin line between life and death. So you die, in a split second, you go back to sleep or go to heaven, then you're reincarnated back into the earth. So why should anyone change? Why? So you have some Israelites out there teaching that you're reincarnated, and it doesn't matter, you will die in a nuclear destruction, and you'll be reincarnated as a baby on the other side. Now listen to this clearly. Suppose two people who believe in Christ, who's supposed to believe in Christ, one teach that, listen, we must correct it in this lifetime, And another is teaching, well, it doesn't matter because, I mean, you know, you can be good or bad, because if you're bad, you're going to come back in reincarnation. How can them two operate within the same space and teach in one church? All right? Another example. See, this is what divides the nation. If one person is saying, listen, I'm going to count 6 days and rest on the Sabbath day, like the Bible says, and another person is saying, well, I'm going to wait for the new moon to roll around, and I'm going to do my Sabbaths according to that. How can they teach in the same space? How can you congregate and make that a solemn assembly on the Sabbath when one is counting according to the moon and one is doing it weekly? Impossible. So one of the biggest enemies of the children of Israel is doctrine, doctrinal differences. Read that again.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yeshua Christ, that ye all speak the same thing.
So it was imperative in the church that we would speak the same thing. Read.
And that there be no divisions among you.
There cannot be no divisions, no divisive doctrines. Read.
But that ye be perfectly joined together to the same mind and in the same judgment.
The same mind and the same judgment. Right? Read on.
Verse 11. For it hath been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Chloe, that there are contentions among you.
So it was reports among Paul that it was teachings amongst us. Like even we would lay teachings in certain areas and leave. And then this is what was going on during Paul's time. You lay some teachings down and leave, and someone pop up with something that have nothing to do with what was being taught. So Paul had to constantly send letters and remind them, listen, we need to go back to where we learned. We need to find that space. You go away and somebody talking about, well, listen, what's up with Adam's other wife, Lilith? And different things like that. And see, people don't understand. They come under the auspices of innocence when they bring these doctrines. But it's really not innocence at all. Because there's another agenda behind them bringing something contrary to what was taught originally. But they can't say that, so they'll bring it as a doctrinal misunderstanding. Division comes from Satan. And it doesn't matter how docile the spirit might be. If you're not sure about something, you don't bring it to the populace. You don't bring this out and say, well, I've been reading something, I'm just not sure about it, but you look at it and just see how, see if you see what I'm seeing. That's Satan right there. That's Satan. Because it's really not, it's coming in a subtle manner. But really, it's a spirit of total divisiveness and destruction. Because they don't know, they have no idea what moving this doctrine to another person is going to do. Or they do. They just need someone to agree with them so that they can bring and spread the division. And now the next person is asking, well, I'm not sure. I've been reading that, and yeah, it does seem. See, this is how it happens. So while the truth is going out trying to build and bring things together, because only Christ and truth can bring things together, Satan will work to tear it down. So we have to recognize when those things are prevalent and present amongst us, because Satan is not going to come with the horns and tails. He's not going to come with fangs. You understand? He's going to come in the spirit of misunderstanding and that's how he comes. Or he might be enlightened by what he's reading, because Satan is the illuminated, the enlightened one. And then you have some people that just want to be deeper than another person. Then you have those. You know what I mean? I'm seeing on a deeper level. Now, you understand? So I want to bring this to show my spiritual individuality. Who did that? Lucifer. He did that at the throne. Yeah, everybody worshiping the Most High. He got his program, but listen, I can do it this way. I need to stand out, so let me bring this. Hey, what's going on with Lilith and Adam? Mm-hmm. Like, well, brother, we're not teaching about Lilith. Well, what's going on with then they start going into all these different things, but they don't know that you done seen this over and over again. Or they'd say, I'm still looking into, and watch that word, I'm still looking into something. I got to find this out for myself. Well, it tell you in the Bible, where two or more gathered, he's in the midst. The Most High don't work with no one man by himself. Who we think we are? You need some levity so that someone can say, listen, you going off. You need some spiritual levity. Anything. Okay? When I see certain things and bring it, and not only that, when I go into things now, I go into things with the doctrine that's already founded intact. I don't go into something that will go against the doctrine. And see, people don't understand that. That's how you actually stay level. Like, for instance, if someone, I'm going to use the Lilith thing for an example. If you're going into the Lilith doctrine that Adam had a wife before Eve, does that do more harm than good? If you present that to people, why does it do more harm? First of all, it makes you question the Bible. How is it the Bible don't speak of this woman at all? And then, who was Lilith's mother and father? That opens up a new can of worms now. So you start studying and studying and studying, and next thing you know, you're bringing a whole nother satanic doctrine from the left side. So going into some of these things, you have to realize you must have the doctrine intact first, so you can recognize what's not doctrine. That's common sense. If something sticks out like a sore thumb, and there's nothing that Christ never spoke of this, the disciples never spoke of this, there's nowhere in the Old Testament, nowhere in the New Testament. There's no Bible reference at all to this particular spirit. Right? But yet you're going to bring it forth or introduce it to another person. When really you should have been aware of it before you even spoke it out of your mouth. You should have said, well, okay, what is the origin of this doctrine? Because I can't find it nowhere in Scripture. Christ don't even speak of this. The disciples, at least in the book of Jude, he's speaking of Enoch. At least in this book, he's speaking of Jasher. What's up with this Lilith spirit? All right? That's a spirit of division. But let me bring this all the way around to what I'm saying. And see, and that's the continuity of the doctrine, regardless of man, regardless of anything. The doctrine never changes. And see, that stands the test of time. If it's truth, and it's founded on truth, and it cannot be disputed as truth, it's truth. So I don't have to look into all these other doors and go into all these other factions and try to get deep. Yeah, Christ was around 3. Yeah, you know Christ was Solomon, brother? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who I am now. You know what I mean? I had this feeling, I heard Jeremiah had a nose just like me. This is what people go into. And next thing you know, it's a spaced out doctrine. And really, the doctrine of Christ and the doctrine of the Bible is very simple. It's not really that complex. But it's deep in knowledge, and it's manifold if you have the foundation. Someone asked, and that is a good question, where did the doctrine that the Messiah is King David come from? Well, I never seen a doctrine about Messiah. The doctrine of Messiah becoming King David came from the original Israeli school of UPK in the 80s and 90s. And I'm going to go over that also. Messiah was a brother. He was a very articulate brother from the 60s and 70s, and he was one of the pioneers, believe it or not, that was behind the Israeli doctrine, or the Israelite doctrine you see today. Him and Ya'iqwab. Ya'iqwab was a very humble brother, which was Ariah's father. From 1 West 125th Street was the original place in New York. And because the doctrine was gaining some type of notoriety, and Ya'iqwab, which is Ariah's father, was getting frail and old in age, Shaw became the guy in charge, and the word started spreading in different areas. And I think they looked at the scriptures where it tell you that in Ezekiel, where it tell you that that Israel will go into captivity, and the king will go into captivity with them. Now, really, that breaks down the prophecy of that being fulfilled is Jeremiah, when the king was taken down by Babylon. But they were looking at the scripture saying the king that would go into captivity and bring the word was Shaw. And that's when it started going off. Now, in order for them to justify this, it would have to go on another level. They would have to now say that reincarnation is doctrine. They would also need to start saying that, it wasn't just him. They were saying Ariah was Daniel and John the Revelator. They were saying that not only Shaw was King David, they also said that he was Peter, who had the keys to the kingdom. Now, I was there when all this was being taught. Now, I would never teach anything like this. I just wanted to deal with the truth. But I was there when all that was being taught, and I was able to separate all that from what I was learning, because the other stuff I was learning was deeper than anything you could learn in the churches, as far as who Israel is. You understand? And they were trying to bring our culture back, so I was able to separate that. May the Most High rest his soul. Shaw passed not too long before they came with that King David doctrine. And after that, right before that, there was a split between them, and Ariah and them went their way, and Shaw went his way under the house of David. So those of the house of David and Great Millstone went with Shaw. Okay? So that's how that happened in the 90s. Now, here's the most dangerous part of this. They started saying Christ was reincarnated. Other people started believing they were some people they weren't. You understand? And eventually that doctrine caused a division amongst what could have been a great work. You understand? Start exalting men and putting men up as being more higher than they ought to be. So, I have nothing ill to say against any of them or against that brother, because his work, believe it or not, helped. They were there when I came around. Okay, so, but that's the doctrine was 100%. Well, I would say a lot of percent incorrect. All right. Now the other thing is when it comes to if you open the door for this particular doctrine, then you'll have a guy saying, well, listen, I'm the Holy Spirit now. I'm the Comforter. See, there was little things like that. So if you open the door for total fallacy and nonsense, eventually the nonsense will continue. So the question is, what people would believe this? You know who would believe this? Sheep. Sheep will believe this. So you can't blame the people, because based on the knowledge you learn in the church, you go there, you'll learn more in a couple of weeks than you've learned all your life. So because of this, they honored the brothers who was a forerunners, who brought them more truth that they could receive in a Christian church. But once you start going through there and learning the scriptures and become wise and start operating in the Spirit, because Christ is with you through the whole thing, you start to read what you're seeing, and then you compare it to what you're seeing. So Christ never stops just because of a few men. And you'll start bringing things back. Well, listen, I don't think he's Moses, because he was Moses too. I don't think he's Moses. I don't think he was King David, and I don't think that he was Peter. When you start reading, then they'd be like, okay, well, they go to the door, hit the door. Then you say, well, listen, I don't think just reading the word is baptism, because Christ went to John to be baptized. They'd be like, okay, that's fine. Hit the door. All right? Now, going back into the doctrinal. Going back to the doctrinal understanding here. Someone asked, did Jacob kill Esau? I'll entertain your questions a little later. But going into some of the doctrinals, to show you some understanding. And this also was a doctrine that was taught that you, and I'm dealing with the divisions right now. Let's go to Acts 23 and 8 to show you that there was different doctrinal understandings amongst Israelites. You had Pharisees, you had Sadducees, you had those who were called Christians following Christ. Okay? And listen to what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. When it comes to understanding Israel was divided into factions, into different beliefs. It's Christ's duty to gather Israel. Okay? I'm not on no campaign to bring Israel together. I'm going to tell you that right now. Alright? I'm on a campaign to teach the truth. And let the Spirit of Christ bring Israel together. And when He comes, He'll gather those who belong to Him. He gathers the elect to the elect. We're just a member of the body. We're not the body. We're members of the body. Read it.
Acts chapter 23, verse 8.
Read the 7th verse.
Verse 7. And when he had said so, or so said, then arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
See, there was even a division in the New Testament between the Pharisees and Sadducees. So you brothers and sisters that are going on YouTube and going through these different stations and learning these different doctrines, I'm telling you, that's why you come to us with so many questions, because it's rattling your minds. Y'all go one place and they, why you believe this, and why you fairly new. You think that being Israel means one doctrine. It don't. It don't. You got the doctrines of different Israelites, and you have the doctrine of Christ. You see, that's why they wanted to kill Christ. So when you come to us asking, well, why this person do this and why this person do that, and why they believe that, listen, it ain't up to you to go into all different types of doctrines. You'll be scrambled. It's up to you to understand the doctrine of Christ, and then you can filter that stuff and correct those who are in error. So the focus is not to go into these different doctrines. The focus is to receive the doctrine of Christ. Therefore, you have the light that can correct the darkness. Read Acts 23 and 8. Read it.
Verse 8. For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection.
They said what?
For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection.
The Sadducees says there is no resurrection. Now, who else is teaching that in the earth today? You know who's teaching that? The Jehovah's Witnesses. They teach that when you die and you're just in a grave. Okay? Read on.
Neither angel nor spirit, but the Pharisees confess both.
But the Pharisees confessed both. So here's two different factions working together. They both were against Christ. But they weren't even together. But they was together in trying to destroy Christ. But they wasn't even together. So you notice, and I'm going to use this example. You notice that we don't attack anyone. But you can have all these Israelite groups out here that don't agree with they don't agree with each other, but they'll come together to attack us. Notice that. Let me tell you, we don't pay none of these guys any mind at all, because they're not the judge. And we don't need anyone else to verify our work. Christ will give out the crowns. Christ give out the crowns, brothers and sisters. But here's an example. You got all these different doctrines, but they'll come together. Like one thing people feel a certain type of way, and they think it's a doctrine. It is really not a doctrine. But because so many people have been focused on it, and we've actually did what we said we was going to do, they think fleeing Babylon is a doctrine. They think leaving one place and moving to another. And see, I'm perplexed at that because that's all the disciples did. Read the New Testament. All the disciples were leaving one place and setting up in other places. Paul, Peter, the disciples, that's all they did. When you get a chance, go to Google and type in all Paul's travels, Peter's travels, the disciples' travels, and look at those arrows pointing to different parts of the old world. That's all they did. So how can leaving one place and going to the other become a doctrine now? Okay? So they're making, those guys, those are the guys that talk about flee Babylon. Yeah, stay away from those guys. But this is how you know spiritual haters. Alright? Before we even left Babylon, before we even said anything about leaving America, listen to this clearly, they was hating on us. But the hate back then really permeated or germinated from the name of the Most High. That was the original hate. Before we came out with the name of the Most High and started not came out with it, but actually revealed it, because it was plain in sight the whole time. All the Israelite groups who were once a part, they were sending us letters and saying what greater work, standing up. Let me tell you, we were the first Israelite group out there talking about what's going on with FEMA, the mark of the beast, all that, the Most High. We were the first ones out there bringing forth all that understanding. Okay? The chip, why? Because back then, the Israeli Church of UPK, GMS, and all of them were saying the mark of the beast was actually working for the system. All of them. Then they were sending us letters saying, yeah, they're doing good. But then they found out we were baptizing. And that was against their doctrine because they didn't believe it because they wanted to do it, the word opposed to water. Then they found out we actually teach all nations like the scriptures say. And then a lot of Israelite groups didn't like that because they said, well, our people is impure. Our people is going through so much. Why are you focusing on them? And see how they try to spin it? Who says we're focusing on them? See, that's your spin. We're not focusing on anyone. We're teaching the gospel to all nations. They're focusing on the truth. So they try to make it where it's us against them. Yeah, they focus on white people when our people are suffering. That's how they spin it. No, we focus on the truth. And if white people want to accept the truth, then we'll teach them. We focus on the truth. If Chinese people want to accept the truth, we accept it. And here it is. They'll point to one person and say, well, see, look what happened with the white woman who started making videos against them. See, that's the example. That lets you know they were sitting on the side the whole time, waiting for someone to attack so they can pounce on it. My question is this. That's one white person. And how many black people have made videos and did things against us and said things against us? Should we not teach black people now? See, that's the idiocy of some of the attacks that goes down that brings division. One person do not stop a doctrine. We can care less about if a white person, Chinese person, African person come out and start attacking the word. It still would be nothing compared to when Christ was being attacked, when the disciples were being attacked. So what do we care if somebody make a video? Go ahead. Waste your time while we bring forth truth. Go ahead. It's your video. Now, also it's amazing. I see some people make videos, and I've noticed, even though I don't spend too much time on it, but I've seen it. I've seen they make a video bringing forth what they want to bring forth, and it have, 15 hits in 6 months. Or 30 hits, and it's probably them checking to see if anyone is listening to what they're saying. But then they'll make a video, and they'll inject us in it, and then that video got 2,000 hits, 3,000 hits immediately. Why? Because that's how they get recognized. No one recognized their foolishness. But they realized that by using someone else or attacking someone else that have a popular following, they can get notoriety. Y'all have to examine that too. Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians. So the haters, if they want to get recognized, go ahead and attack the work. 1 Corinthians 15. Let's read 12 and 13 again. 1 Corinthians 15, 12. This, 15, 12, and 13.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 12.
Read.
Now if Christ be preached that he rose from the dead, how say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead?
See that? Now, Christ was talking about resurrection of the dead, but even in the church of Corinthians, Paul was writing because brothers was now teaching in the church there is no resurrection of the dead. This was amongst the church. He had to constantly send letters to the church of Corinth on this. This is what happens. You get a brother that's coming in saying, well, listen, I don't know what's up with this Paul guy. He used to kill Israelites too. And they usually go to the younger people, the people who are easily impressionable, people that are just new and still trying to feel their way around. So they'll come and say, well, yeah, you checked out this Paul guy yet? Yeah, this Paul used to kill Israelites, man. You know, I know you in the spirit. I know that everything is fine, but just keep your eye on him. Just keep your eye on things, because ultimately it was God, it was Jesus who led you here. So, and by the way, you know there's no resurrection, right? So here it is. They don't want you to follow man, as they call it, but yet they're bringing a doctrine. So if you follow their doctrine, are you following man? People kill me with that one too. Well, I don't follow man. Well, who taught you then? How did you learn to read and write? Okay, how did you learn to count? Were you following man when you learned to count? And that's another thing they use as a pretext not to deal with any level of order. I don't follow man. Okay. Have you read the book of Jeremiah? Oh yeah. Was Jeremiah a man? Well, he was inspired by God. Okay. So do you follow men that are inspired by God? So watch these little trickeries people put out there as a pretext to actually have you follow them. That's what they really want. Because they'll come with the negative first. Anyone that usually come with negative first, watch it. This is what they come. Yeah, have you seen this? Yeah, man, I'm still looking into them. You know, I heard this and I heard that. Rumors. Right? Then after they deal with the rumors, they got you shaky now and say, listen, yeah, you checked out that lunar Sabbath? That thing, boy, you got to look into that. While you looking into all this other stuff I just riddled you with. Because I'm in the Spirit of Christ. Read.
Verse 12.
Read it.
Now if Christ be preached that he rose from the dead.
If Christ be preached that he rose from the dead.
How say some among you that there is no resurrection of the dead?
How can some say amongst you there's no resurrection of the dead? Now, going back to the old Israelite doctrine of people talking about reincarnation. They're saying the resurrection is reincarnation. You're coming back through another body. Another doctrine that's out there with Israelites, that's out there with Israelites, and you have to watch this because sometimes the focus be so much about the white man, you don't even know what their doctrine is about. Because you're so happy that someone is telling you that Jesus was black. Okay, then what? All right? Another thing. Another doctrine they're out there teaching besides the reincarnation. Okay? They're teaching when it comes to the resurrection, that's reincarnation. They're also teaching already went into the resurrection. What else is out there? One moment here. They're teaching that there is no such thing as the devil or Satan. There's no such thing as the devil or Satan. There's no spirit. It's the white man is a devil. He was there in the beginning with Eve. It was a white man in the garden with a fruit. Okay. The white man. Okay. And then they teach the white man was also Cain. All right. And listen to this, brothers and sisters. After the flood, he was reincarnated as Esau. Oh yeah. If you don't believe me, see, these are the things you have to know. Another thing, doctrines out there. And I'm going to show you according to Bible prophecy as far as scriptures are concerned. How it's important that you understand doctrine of Christ and the doctrine of the Bible. If you follow doctrine of man, then you will not understand prophecies of the day. You notice that through the Spirit of the Most High, we go into exactly what's going on today. Why? We learn the doctrine and the understanding and the geographical locations of all the nations concerning prophecy. You cannot talk about prophecy and not know who the people are in the earth. Impossible. You have Israelite groups teaching that Moab and Ammon were and are Chinese and Japanese people. Well, I have one problem with that. Matter of fact, I have a few problems with that. In front of me is a map. Now, I have a map here, and you will see Israel. Here's an ancient map, brothers and sisters. You'll see Israel. Right south of Israel, you'll see Edom. And right to the west of Israel, you will see the kingdom of Ammon and the kingdom of Moab. So, let me show you an ancient map. See, this is all Israel have to do. Look at this ancient map. Excuse me, brother, I'm sorry. I want you to see this ancient map. Let me see, there's too much light here. I want you to see this ancient map. I hope I can get this here. Hold on one second. I have to show this. One moment. Okay. Here's the map. Look at where Moab and Ammon is. See that? Now, we have our camera in reverse, but I wanted to see this. I want you all to see this. How do you reverse it where it's not mirror?
Sure.
Here's Moab and Ammon right here. And I have it in reverse, but big on Moab and Ammon. Now the issue we have here, see if you can see it. The issue we have here is that if Moab and Ammon was right next to Israel, if they were right next to Israel, brothers and sisters, How is it they're Chinese, they're in China and in Japan right now? How is that possible? When they bordered Israel. Now, what I have here, I hope you all can hear me clearly. I'm in reverse right now, but I'm going to straighten it out. I have a modern day map right here. And on the modern day map, my finger is on Jordan, and here's Amman in Jordan with my top finger. Right here, right or left of Israel, right here. To my right and your right on the screen. I just wanted to show you all that. I mean, to my right, to my left, and your left on the screen. See that? I got it in reverse, but I want y'all to see. In reverse is Ammon and Moab right next to Israel right now today, right outside of Jordan. And I got proof that Moab went into the land of the Palestinians. I have proof of this after the fall of Israel. Look at them right there. So Moab and Ammon never left the Middle East. So my question is, if Moab and Ammon never left the Middle East, how can any Israelites out there say that Moab and Ammon are Chinese and Japanese people? That's common sense. You have a Bible dictionary? Mike, can you grab that Bible dictionary for me upstairs? Wow. Alright, so we're going to show you the issue if you teach that Moab and Ammon is Chinese. Why? Because if you teach this, you can't understand prophecy of the last days. Let's go to Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel. If you notice, also Edom was on the bottom or south of them. So Edom linked up with Moab and Ammon against the children of Israel. They surrounded Israel. These were the enemies on the outside borders of the children of Israel, who eventually took the land, and they're the people that are surrounding the areas and that are in the land today, ruling the land. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. The 39th chapter. Ezekiel 39. Listen to this clearly. Ezekiel 39. And read the first verse.
Ezekiel chapter 39 verse 1. Therefore, thou son of man,
Go ahead.
prophesy against God.
Prophesy against God. Go ahead.
And say, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
The chief prince of Meshach. Now listen to this clearly, brothers and sisters. Meshach in the Hebrew is Meshach, which is a foreign derivative, Meshach, a son of Japheth, and the people descended from him. So this prophecy in Ezekiel is speaking of the children of Japheth. So if you're teaching people that Chinese and Japanese people are Moab and Ammon, then you cannot correctly teach this scripture of the Most High putting the Spirit on these children of Japheth, which are the Asians today, to bring them into the war. That's why it's important. It's very important to know the nations if you're going to teach prophecy. The Most High is not talking about people who would migrate into Russia or into Europe in the lands of Japheth. He's not talking about the Edomites in Russia. This is how the Christians are teaching it. It's talking about the bear. It's talking about Russia. No. It's not talking about the converts or the people who stole the land of Japheth. It's speaking about the people who were there before the Greek conquest. Read.
Verse 2. And I will turn thee back, and leave but 6 part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel.
So it's talking about the spirit of the Chinese people and the Asian people coming back into the war. That's why it says he would turn them back. And it tells you that he would put hooks in their jaws. Listen to this clearly. Go to Ezekiel 38:1.
Ezekiel chapter 38,
and
verse 1.
See, the Christians are teaching this wrong because they're teaching that it's talking about Russia. All right? Then the Israelites are following the Christian teachings and saying that that's talking about Russia too, and it's not talking about Russia. Russia is nothing more than an Edomite or European plant in the Middle East and in parts of Asia. They're part of the 10 horns. They're part of the 10 horns. So they really play middle ground, but they represent Edom in Europe, right there in Asia, and right there in the Middle East. It's a meticulous place where Edom is stationed. But the Spirit of the Most High is putting a hook in the jaws of Japheth. Is speaking of the Asians coming into the war. It's speaking of China coming into the war. Meshach, the children of Meshach. Read Ezekiel 38:1.
Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1.
Read.
And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him,
Go ahead and say,
Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
So here it is. You wouldn't understand this prophecy if you did not know that China was Meshach. Because it says, be a guard unto them. Be a guard to who? A guard to the other Japhetic nations in the lands that are being destroyed by the Edomite world and NATO. So China is not going to escape this. They're going to need to, for survival, get back into this war. That's why it says put hook in their jaws and bring them into it. Why? Because really, China is trying to win on the outskirts by allowing America to fall, the dollar to fall, and them buying up everything and do their secret deals. They're actually winning without a physical army. The Most High says, no, I'm going to do something which is going to put hook in your jaws, and you're going to bring your army down in the valley of Jehoshaphat, because your armies must be judged with Babylon's army. So you're not going to get away, China. That's what the Most High is showing here. They're going to be in the body of Jehoshaphat too. And they're the only nation that's not down there. But they will come in once America and NATO attack Iran. Because Iran is also Japheth. They're the brother of the Chinese people. See, if you don't know who these people are, the children of Meshach and their Japhetic people, then you will not understand this prophecy. What nation that don't have an army down in the Middle East or the body of Jehoshaphat? China. That's who. All right? So that's common sense. That's common sense if you understand prophecy. That Japhetic people are the Asians. Now, on the other hand, now here's some totally confusing things that I don't understand. The same Israelites that don't know who Japheth is are teaching that Israelites are Japheth. They're teaching that the Hawaiians, the Fiji Islands, the Samoans are Japheth. And what they use is Genesis, the 10th chapter, when it talks about Japheth being in the Isles of the sea. They're in the islands. Okay, well, I know some other people that's in the Isles of the sea. The Haitians right now are in the Isles of the sea. You got Jamaicans living in islands. Are they Japheth? So you can't go by that. All right? Because people have migrated. The original people of Israel in 721 BC went into the New World. That's how the people inhabited the Fiji Islands, the parts of Hawaii, parts of Samoa. Look at what's his name, the football player, Palomalu. And not only that, I went to Hawaii and I sat down with these and I've seen their culture, and I see they have all ancient Israelite culture. So the same people who don't know who Japheth is say that the Chinese and Japanese people are Moab and Ammon. They now threw the nation of Israel off by saying that, okay, they're Japheth. And I'm pointing this out because there's no way Israel is going to come together if our doctrine is not together. And that's one of many things. And I'm putting it out there for you brothers and sisters so that if you go into some of these sites, and I know you go there for entertainment, it's kind of funny sometimes. And then sometimes you go to a video to see, okay, what are these guys going to do next? I understand that. But don't fall into the doctrinal trap of following a false doctrine, because now you're cleaving into Israel now. And you want some level of acceptance based on the fact that no one is accepting you amongst your family or amongst those that you know. So you try to link in with other Israelites as family. Don't get caught up in that. You got other brothers out there who find it entertaining to curse out white people and find it entertaining to do that and say, listen, I'm going to get a camera even though no one is looking at me, and I'm going to set up one, I'm going to throw something on, I'm going to throw a rag over myself, and I'm going to go in the corner and put a camera on myself and talk about the white man. Okay? With no one looking, but, I'm going to put it out there because it seems like fun. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters out there, you're playing into their hands. Christ says, be wise as serpents, harmless as a dove. You're in the wrong time to be on a corner cursing out anybody, let alone white people. This is the wrong. Listen, I don't think there ever was a time for that. But you're definitely in the wrong time because the laws don't even protect you now. There is no constitution. Okay? These cops can do what they want to do, and Bloomberg just said, listen, he just warned people, he rolled it out right under your nose that they have internment camps up and running. So you out there thinking, you entertainment thinking, okay, I'm going to get a white man to bow down to me and all that. Listen, they will have CIA agents come and just play the innocent, docile part, and will have you put your feet on their head just so it can incinerate the situation. They'll do that. They'll be out there and comply with everything you're saying just so it can get on film. Okay, this is how it works. CIA agents is not 007 James Bond. You got old ladies that are CIA agents. You got people who are agents that will actually play that part just so you can get that video out there, brothers and sisters. So you can actually feed the frenzy and the fuel of hatred. They need that. That's a divisive tool. And when it comes down to it, they will find you. Okay? And that same chip you're talking about will be in you. Okay? Christ says he sent us out as sheep among wolves, be wise as serpents and harmless as a dove. Now, there's other doctrines. They claim that leaving Babylon is a doctrine. Okay? I'm going to say it again. It's not a doctrine. Okay? You have a choice. You have a choice, brothers and sisters. to stay wherever you want to stay or to go wherever you want to go. We are not telling you you are wrong if you stay in America. You can record this. You can put it out there. I need you all to make it out. Put it out there. Listen, we are not saying that you are wrong if you stay in America. See, people have a guilt complex and they feel a certain type of way because they know something is coming there. And because they don't have a way, or they think they don't have a way to get out, they'll spin it into saying what they want. They'll spin the meaning to what favors them. All right? We never said it's wrong if you stay. We said the Most High said leave. That's all we said. We didn't say it was wrong. We said the Most High said come out of it. And you have some people who say, well, the whole earth is Babylon. Okay. All right. So how do you come out of Babylon then? Well, you got to come out of it mentally. Babylon is in the mind. Okay. So all the missiles that's pointed towards Babylon, are these missiles pointed to the whole earth? Give me some understanding when the Most High says no man or beast will be there once these missiles hit. Is those missiles, is those spiritual missiles that's going to hit the earth? Or what geographical location is this? All right. See, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed and believe, all things are possible. So people look at their current circumstance and believe there's no way. And they want to use their doubt as a pretext to go against the truth. Okay? It's more to it than just leaving Babylon, brothers and sisters. We're not, every week we're not out here saying, well, hey, we're the gathering of Leave Babylon Church. No. It's up to you if you want to leave Babylon. We found out that going to other places have broadened our understanding on what the truth is about as far as going to other people who may not have heard this otherwise. Okay? We also, through the Spirit of the Most High, we feel, have opened some level of opportunity to show brothers and sisters that life exists outside of our bubble. Let's go to let's go to Matthew 10 real quick. Let me show you something. We also have exercised faith to be able to step out there with nothing but the Most High. Okay? You had people, let me tell you, we even had people lying on us. I'm going to put this out there. You had people lying, saying that we took people's money and used people's money to leave. That's a lie. We didn't take no one's money. All right? That is a bold-faced lie. All right? Because I'm still waiting for someone to make a video and say, listen, I gave them my money and they left. Listen to this clearly, brothers and sisters. If people donate to a cause or send money for a video that they have purchased, we don't have a gun to their head saying, go to PayPal or go to some place and use your card to send money to help the work. How can that be turned around to us stealing someone's money? See, those are the lies that people put out there, or the innuendos of saying, well, I heard that some of you, I don't know for sure. How can you steal somebody's money and they sending money from Utah? Listen, if I'm in Philadelphia and you in Utah and you sent money to help the church, how did I steal your money? See, these are the lies out there. Like, we don't have no one at gunpoint. People support the work because it did something in their life and they want to see this happen and continue to help others. That's why people support the work. And they want to make sure the work is sustained so they can get what they need out of the work also. Okay, they sent in to help the work. We in turn sent a video. We take that money and we see the flights and we book a flight. That's how things go. How was it in turn now? We took some money and what? Now, one person out there, and then you have this one guy who made a video saying, yeah, I know about PayPal. What about PayPal? We had a PayPal card. They canceled the PayPal card because we didn't want to go 501c3 status. Oh, because you see me use a PayPal card to get groceries, I must have been doing something wrong? Well, the question is, brother or sister, that says asinine things like that, we don't force anyone to send money to a PayPal card. And if the money is PayPal and I want to get groceries, Paul said what? Can you muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn? If someone is in the vineyard working to make the work happen, are you going to muzzle them from eating the food or the grain because you want to sell the grain or the grain belonging to someone else? No. You're going to feed the ox so that the ox can be strong to till more ground, to bring forth more fruit. So yes, I bought some groceries with a PayPal card. And what's so guilty? See, this is the asinine stuff they put out there and say, yo, I know about the PayPal card. What? You see, I don't usually pay some of these things any mind, but I thought that I'll put it out there to show you how satanic some of these people were. And then you have somebody suspicious and see the video saying, yeah, somebody knew him and said that he was doing something with a PayPal card. And I'm still waiting for the next video, the next part of it, to say what's wrong with having a PayPal card. See, but people put in suspicion and evil. Man, let's get the scripture. Get me in the Apocrypha about an evil suspicion. Y'all need to read this, brothers. This is about an evil suspicion.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3. Are you still in that?
Yeah. I want Matthew 10, but I want you to read that.
Ecclesiasticus.
Ecclesiasticus
3, verse 20.
Ecclesiasticus 3 and 20. Read it.
For the power of the Most High is great, and he is honored of the lowly.
Read.
Seek not out things that are too hard for thee.
Seek not out things that are too hard for you. Read.
Neither search the things that are above thy strength.
That means, why go into something that's above what you know? Stick with what the Most High gave you. Read.
Verse 22. But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence. For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes that the things that are in secret.
That means it's none of people's business what everyone is doing. That's what that means. People start suspecting something, and now Satan takes that evil suspicion. It shows you. Read.
Verse 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matters.
Be not curious in unnecessary matters. Read.
For more things are showed unto thee than men understand.
You have enough than men can understand. You already have that. Read.
Verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Many people are deceived by their own what?
Vain opinion.
Vain opinion. You know what they say about opinions. Read.
And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment.
And an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. So haters have made videos just to put out evil suspicion, knowing that they can use this as a tool to stop you from grasping the truth, from you from growing. It's nothing positive can come with someone putting out an evil suspicion. See, and I'm going to put this out there because normally when people start putting out these videos and putting out stuff, and for years they've been doing it, it's because they are hating. They upset because they figured that what they're seeing should have been them. That's what it is. Or they wanted to come with something that they got shot down because it wasn't truth, and they felt a certain type of way about that. Okay? And then the same people that have been putting stuff out, you have people that don't even believe in the Bible are trying to tell people where I went wrong according to the Bible. It's amazing. But I wanted to show that. But let's go back to that faith in Matthew the 10th chapter.
St. Matthew chapter 10 verse 23.
Read 5.
Verse 5, excuse me. These 12 Yeshua sent forth,
Read it.
and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Don't go into the way of the Gentiles. Read.
And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
In any cities of the Samaritans enter ye not. Read.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Read.
Verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
And tell them the kingdom is at hand. Read.
Heal the sick.
Heal the sick.
Cleanse the lepers.
Cleanse the lepers.
Right, raise the dead.
Raise the dead, and we're doing that spiritually. Read.
Cast out devils.
Cast out devils.
Freely ye have received, freely give.
Read.
Provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purse.
See that? We didn't store no money to do this work. We went out in total faith. We didn't have no money, brothers and sisters. But we did what the Lord said do. Read.
Verse 10. Nor script for your journey.
Don't worry about a script for your journey. Why?
Neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat.
A workman is worthy of his meat. If we do the work, the Most High is going to open up a door where we can have some shoes, we can have something to eat, we can have shelter. That's faith. That's faith. Okay? Okay? There's no open substance of a bank account someplace where people are just funning money to us to travel and do certain things. We're working, brothers and sisters. Now, here's another thing. You have some guys out there now. Do me a favor, make sure this thing plugged up right for me. One guy out there, no, I'm good. One guy out there sent a message saying, yo, how you can travel like this? Are you part of the Illuminati? And I'm like, step away from the YouTube videos. Okay? You've been YouTubed. Alright? Everything is Illuminati now. You gotta watch what form your hand is in while you speaking inadvertently. So that somebody don't take a millionth of a millisecond and make a frame of a Baphomet sign. Oh, look! Sometimes I teach and keep my hands under the table now, because you got someone not even looking at the scriptures. Let me watch his hands for a second. He might be sent it out to the Illuminati. This is the simple-minded spirit that's going out there that tried to entrap somebody or to give an evil suspicion or an evil eye on a person. But Christ said, if your eye be evil, your whole body is evil. What does that mean? If you look on something as evil, your whole actions will follow that spirit. Why can't we see in people what the Most High see in people? Why automatically we must look at the negative and then start and say, well, prove to me you're good? Who are you? See, and that's another thing. We will stand before the king, all of us. We will stand before the king. You have some people come through, well, I just want to make sure things right. Brother, we've been commanded by the Most High to do this. Who's you? We don't need no validator to come in. Who are you? The spirit, the church checker? Yeah, let me inspect here and make sure everything is clean. And no. We're not here to please the gainsayers. We're here to teach the truth. And it falls on those who will receive it. Alright? Listen to this clearly. Read.
Verse 11. And into whatever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy.
Read it again.
And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy.
Whatever city you go into, then you inquire who's worthy to hear this truth. We've sat before, while being out of America, we've sat with people we never met before. And they just wanted to be in the presence of the work. We've met people who've taken us out, did things, and opened, I'm going to have they let me know what their plans were and all this. And I don't even know these people. Yeah, we're thinking about dealing with some land and buying some land here, and yeah, I'm thinking about opening up a fish farm in this area, and I'm sitting there listening to this person, and I'm like, why are you talking to me about this? I don't even know these people. But the Most High did that. Read.
Verse 11. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy.
Go ahead.
And there abide till ye go thence.
And there abide till you go thence. That means you can find out who can help you at an area, and you stay there until it's time to go someplace else. We came into a place, and when we landed, a lot of people knew what we were about. They knew who we were the whole time. You had people that had places to live already established. And these were foreigners. These were people I didn't even know. Okay? I didn't know these people, but I trusted that the God of Israel, the God of the Hebrews, who said, go that way, I trusted him, and he made sure that we stayed afloat the whole time. He made sure. And he continued to make sure. So the Most High's grace in spirit is continual, and he's evident with his grace, and he's evident with his promise. Christ told us to do this, and we did it, and we've been sustained. Read.
Verse 12. And when ye come into an house, salute it.
Salute it. Bless it. Read.
And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon
And
it.
it says, if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. That means stay. That means stay. If the house be worthy, one moment. Okay, read.
And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it.
If the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. That means if they want to keep you there for a while, then you stay for a while. I never forget this story when the brother kept asking us. He said he learned English because he wanted to speak to us. And then when he used to help us go all around the place. He took us all around the place, and this guy was a lawyer. And he says, yeah, what are y'all doing here? When he first started learning English, I'm like, I told him, like, we here to do something. He's like, we call you Bunny Jacob. You are the children of Jacob. Then he told us that. And I told him, like, listen, eventually we're going to be over here. We're going to be in different places until Christ returns. And he said, well, okay. They understand this, brothers and sisters. This is what this whole terrorist thing is about, and trying to stop people from flying and going into different areas. They know that there will be a remnant in this earth that Christ will save. And they trusted the Western world, and now the Western world have double-crossed them. So the poor of the earth and the people that have been neglected will be the saving grace for some of these nations. They're looking for grace and blessings for helping the children of Israel. You don't know this if you stay within your bubble. And I'm going to tell you something else it's a shame. It's a shame the news that you get within the United States. You don't even know what real news is until you're not there anymore, and everything doesn't have an American censor. Everything don't have an American spin. Okay, you don't even know really what's going on in the earth. They keep you so busy with entertainment and everything else. Okay, so if you take a level of faith, then the Most High will be with you. And I'm going to turn this around and get into this Babylon thing in 1 second and show you this. Read.
But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you.
Let your peace turn unto you. That means if the country is not worthy, if the house is not worthy, then you take your peace back and get ready to leave. Read.
Verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words when you
Whoever don't receive you when you leave, and neither hear your words, what?
When you depart out of that city, out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet.
Walk away. And that's one thing. When you can walk away from home, brothers and sisters, it's easy to walk away from anything else. And see, that's what's called being a pilgrim. Look at the disciples. Look at Abraham. Abraham had it going on where he was. The Most High said, listen, get up and go that way. Like, well, I'm doing fine here. Like, no. Get all the people that's with you. Get your horses, get your camels together, get your people together, and let's get ready to leave. Read.
Verse 15. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah and the day of judgment than for that city.
Okay. Now I want to say this. I'm going to round it up. I'm going to top this off, and we can answer questions. Number one. If you want to stay in Babylon, stay in Babylon. But don't say America's not Babylon. Because you know it is. Okay? Don't try to play it off as if the whole earth is Babylon when you know America is Babylon. Just say that you don't want to leave and you don't believe that I need to leave. But don't try to make it as if it's a false doctrine if people decide not to be a place you're there complaining about. Okay? Now, one other thing. See, these Israelites out there who are saying that Babylon is spiritual, you have to understand the doctrine behind what they believe. See, I was there. I learned the doctrine. I was high up in it. So I understand it. They believe you don't have to leave Babylon because they teach that Christ will return at the same time the missiles are being aimed towards America. And that they will be beamed in UFOs and taken to the wilderness. I know because I taught it. I was there. I learned it. So that's why they believe you shouldn't leave, because UFOs are going to pick you up and place you in the wilderness. At the same time, the missiles are on their way, even though there's no scriptures that say such. All right? When Christ returns, brothers and sisters, America will already be destroyed. Already. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you how their theory and what they're teaching is incorrect. If Christ is returning the same time the ships hit, that means Christ's reign starts no sooner as he breaks the atmosphere. How is the 10 horns will have space with the beast for 1 hour, like Revelation 17 say? Where did Europe get their power from before Christ returns? If Christ returns, when America is destroyed. Babylon must be destroyed first. Then the 10 horns in Revelation 17 will get space 1 hour with the beast. Christ is going to fight against Europe, not America. All right? To give you some understanding so we can put that out there. And I'm sorry, brothers and sisters. UFOs will not pick you up from America. All right? And if they would have, listen to this clearly, that's not going to happen. Are there chariots of the Most High? Absolutely. We just taught on them. But the majority of activity you see in there in America right now is Satan's technology. We just did a teaching on that on a radio show. So when it says that they wonder at the beast and the miracles of the beast and the signs that the beast will do in the heavens, yes, it's UFOs out there, all types of activity going on right now that's not even of the Most High. It's Satan mimicking the Most High ships. All right, so no ships, no UFOs, brothers and sisters, will pick you up. See, they're not telling people that. They're talking about the UFOs, and it's true what they're saying, that they are in the scriptures. But they are twisting it when they say that at the same time the missiles will hit America, that the elect will be beamed up in the clouds, and those of Israel that didn't follow their doctrine will be killed and reincarnated as their babies in the kingdom of heaven. Now I know some of you probably are looking like, what is this? Is what being taught? This is what's being taught. Yes. Now, so if you don't believe Babylon is America, stay there. At least those groups who believe that have an escape. Their escape is UFOs. You got other Israelite groups saying, well, listen, we're going to wait for the ships of Tarshish to pick us up. How can the ships of Tarshish pick you up from an area where there's no animals left and there's no people left? Oh, my goodness. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 52. This is not a doctrine I'm teaching. This is just scripture, okay? Oh yeah, another thing. You have the same guys out there are teaching about the FEMA camps now. They wasn't at first, but they're teaching about it now. So the question is, will the UFOs stop FEMA from grabbing you and picking you up? Give me the timeline on that. How will what's happening in the earth, how will you escape FEMA in an emergency? Now, mind you, they just did a mock drill in New York where you couldn't go outside. Think about that. That was a mock drill with Hurricane Irene. So if you can't go outside in a storm, think about it. If you can't go outside in a storm, then what makes you think when FEMA gets full power under your president, what to stop you? What can stop you from them coming to your house and rounding you up? I'm going to tell you, Israelites and those that are labeled terrorists or what you would call religious extremists will be the first people picked up. I read Rex 84 in 2006 out there in the street when none of the Israelites was talking about Rex 84. And I read it clearly, the red list, the blue list, the yellow list, and I know exactly who they're going to pick up first. Everyone is in a database. Myself, I'm even in a database. All the Israelite groups are in databases. Yeah. So just say if you were in an Israelite group, but yet you don't follow them no more. It doesn't matter to them. When it's time, they're going to track down your location. Yes. And they're going to round Israelites up. They're going to round up the Fruit of Islam. They're going to line up Black Panthers. They're going to line up KKK groups. Anything that's extreme, or they label extreme, under the Poverty Law Center, they will round up. So how will you escape this particular persecution, Israelites that's waiting for UFOs? Now, some people are going to go through it because they can't leave. They're going to reject the mark of the beast, and they will even accept death if it comes. But they'll be fine. They'll be in the bosom of Abraham, and believe it or not, they will be a part of the first resurrection when Christ returns, if they are in Christ. So they don't have nothing to fear. Let's get this in Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 28.
Before you get 28, I need to get the part that talks about no man or beast. Let's get it. Let's read the 6th verse, 51 and 6.
Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Now some people say that this is talking about what happened in the past. Hold that. And get Revelation 13 and 9. So we're going to parallel Jeremiah 51 with Revelations 18 and 9. Some people say this has already happened. Well, if this already happened, why is John speaking of this on the Isle of Patmos? And why is it what we see in Jeremiah 51 have not been fulfilled as of yet? Read Jeremiah 51 and read 6.
Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 6.
Read.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Flee. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show an example of some Israelite groups who are saying the earth is Babylon. Flee out of the earth. Okay? Flee out of the earth. Flee out of the earth. Let me see you try that. Okay? Read.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Flee out of the Roman Catholic Church. Hold up. Just flee out of the Roman Catholic Church.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Flee the Roman Catholic Church. Roman Catholic Church.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
Read on.
And deliver every man his soul.
Okay, so okay, let's make this clear. I'm going to leave Islam. I'm going to leave the Catholic Church, and I'm going to convert to Islam. You're not the Catholic Church no more. I thought the Roman Catholic Church was Babylon. So is your belief fleeing Babylon? No, I'm not a Roman Catholic. I'm Muslim. I just fled Babylon. I'm just giving the examples that we be getting. Man, you know that the Catholic Church is Babylon. Like, listen, brother, that's what you believe. Or are you Catholic? They be like, well, no. I'm like, okay, you done fled Babylon already. You're fine. Read.
Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Most High's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
So, he would render unto her a recompense. When did the Most High judge Babylon? Ancient Babylon. People say, well, look what happened with Iraq. Okay. Let's see if what happened with Iraq. George Bush did that to Iraq, but the Iraqis are still there. What's this prophecy of no people being left there? Why haven't that happened in the past? How do we parallel this with precepts to Revelations 18? Go to Revelations 18 and 9 and read.
Revelations chapter 18 verse 9.
Read.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
In 1 hour have thy judgment come. Read.
Verse 11. Verse 4.
Yeah, read the 4th verse. Revelations 18 and 4. Read it.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people.
Come out of her, my people. That means come out of her, come out of the earth.
Come out of her, my people.
And the Roman Catholic Church.
Come out of her, my people.
Read.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Read the 4th verse.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people.
Read it again.
Come out of her, my people.
Leave the Roman Catholic Church.
Come out of her, my people.
Babylon is the earth. Come out of the earth, brother.
Come out of her, my people.
Okay. All right. Read on.
That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Let's go to Revelation 18 where it talks about render double unto her. Revelation 13. You got it? Mm-hmm. 13. Read it.
Revelation chapter 18 verse 6.
18 and 6. Read.
Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works.
And do what?
And double unto her according to her works.
Double unto her according to her works. Let's go back to Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 and read the 6th verse again.
Verse 6.
So Jeremiah 51 and 6 is saying the same thing Revelation 18 and 6 is saying. Read.
Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Most High's vengeance. He he will render unto her a recompense.
Read.
Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Most High's hand.
He will render unto her a recompense. What is the recompense? The recompense is double. When you look at the Revelations 18 and 6. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Read.
That have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly falling.
It's what?
Babylon is suddenly falling and destroyed.
Look at your stock market. Look at your jobs. Look at your jobs. Look at how everyone is starting to move outside of the country. Look at it. They're not moving out of the Roman Catholic Church. Read.
The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
The nations are mad. Read.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed.
So you're not going to be able to heal her. Read.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
So the Most High says we would have healed her, but she's not healed. There's nothing that you can do to undo Babylon. It will fall until it's no more. No matter how much you want to hold it up or pray for it. See, a lot of these people love to be in the country of oppression just to be the victim. You'd rather be there so that you can talk about how bad it is. I hate these homos. I hate this. I hate that. Well, brother, you can leave there. Well, Babylon is the earth. So you really love it. That's what you really do. You really love it. But you don't want to say that outright, because then where's your doctrine of hate? If you hate it so much, they say it all the time. The Europeans say it all the time. If you don't like it, why don't you leave? They say, because why? They all over the earth. They travel every place. They realize, and a lot of nations know, okay, they've been planning for a long time. Well, listen, I'm going to start looking for life someplace else. It's getting hard here. They do it all the time. Read.
Verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
Read.
Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country.
Forsake her, and let us go everyone into our own country. Hold up, brother. You got to get off the earth.
And let us go every one into his own country.
Hold up, brother. You got to leave the Roman Catholic Church.
And let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. The Most High hath brought forth all righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the works of the Most High, our power. Make bright the arrows, gather shields. The Most High hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
He's raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. There go to Iran again. Read.
For his device is against Babylon.
His device is against Babylon. So that nuclear work he's doing, it's a device against Babylon. But hold on, don't worry about it. Iran is planning to just attack Rome. He's going to attack the Roman Catholic Church. Don't worry about it. It's not America. That's what Iran is being threatened by the Roman Catholic Church. So what device is the Medes stirring up? Read.
To destroy it.
To do what?
To destroy it.
So is this a physical or spiritual destroy right here? What is the Medes going to do to spiritually destroy Babylon, since Babylon is really a spiritual place? Read.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Most High hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon.
Against the what?
Against the inhabitants of Babylon.
So if you are inhabiting Babylon, is that you living in Babylon? Maybe that's, or no, that's you living in the Roman Catholic Church. You have inhabited the Roman Catholic Church. Hey, you have inhabited the earth, so you got to leave the earth. This is stuff people are saying, and they claim us teaching these scriptures is a doctrine. What have you come up with? We're just telling you what the Most High said. See, people feel a certain time. Listen, the only people that are saying America's not Babylon are the people who feel that they can't leave, or they love it so much because they put their hope in Babylon, and they don't see themselves being able to sustain anywhere else, and it's a lack of faith. That's why. The first thing people ask, is there jobs there? What about the faith movement? What about the Most High taking care of you, and you having the spirit to deal with understanding that you are a job, you are a living substance, you are a human commodity according to this world? What about the works of your hands? Why can't you put your mind to work even before you leave? Read.
Verse 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
Hold up. Babylon dwelleth upon many waters. So, is every place that the Roman Catholic Church is set up, do NATO have a base? Do American armies have bases all over the earth? But no, this is not talking about, this is talking about the spiritual Babylon now. This ain't talking about a physical place. Listen. Read it.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasure, thine end is come.
Thine end is come. See, that's why they gave people Barack Obama. Boy, if that can't keep you still, I don't know what would. We got a black president. He's going to pay our rent. Let me tell you. Listen, that should have been, you should have had the first ticket out of here when that guy was voted in. Let me tell you, when the nations abandon the White House, you know that America's done. When they give a black person a seat in the White House, that means this thing is finished. Like, yeah, you got it. But thank you. Here it is. They put this guy at the helm of the Titanic, with the iceberg only 3 inches away. Yeah, you got it. Let's get the life raft. Bush, everybody got life raft and jumped off. There you go. And Barack Obama sitting there. Yeah, he's going to pay our rent. Is things worse now since Barack Obama got into power? Yes. Now they're talking about another attack that's going to happen before 9/11. They just putting people on edge. Talking about they found something in Bin Laden's bunker. I mean, who they get to write this stuff? And he's just sitting there on a sinking ship. Read.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters. Read.
Abundant in treasures.
Go ahead.
Thine end is come.
Thine what?
Thine end is come.
Thine end is come. It's over. What they're dealing with now is how to deal with so much human fallout and human waste. That's what mechanism the American government and the world government is in now. How to control so many people in a chaotic time, knowing that we're going to cut them off from everything. That's what stage they're in now. They're in total security mode, knowing that they're taking everything away from you. Let's see how many people we can kill off. Let's see how many people we can get up in these prisons so we can control. And those that we can't control, let's see how many people we can kill off. Because we can't tell the people, listen, there's nothing left for you. That your jobs have went to other countries. That this country is finished. That there's no commodities. We've taken all the gold that was under the World Trade Center. Fort Knox is empty. That you're playing with monopoly money and they just have you just going through the cycle until they get rid of you. what stage they're in now. Read.
Thine end is come,
Thine end is come.
and the treasure and the measure of thy covetousness. The Most High of hosts have sworn by himself.
The Most High have sworn. Now, did the Most High lie? No. It says he sworn by himself. He done put his name on the line for this. So let me tell you, if that is Babylon, you better side on the side of the Most High. Because when he put his name on something, you can believe it's going to happen. And I just can't by chance be like, well, listen, I'm still looking at the scriptures on this. Now, if it is Babylon, I'm going to side on the side of caution. I'm not going to stick around and be like, yeah, Babylon is Roman Catholic Church. I can sit back and see what'll happen to it now. Okay, all right, let me just watch what's going on. Because it tell you in Revelation 18 that all the nations will be standing afar off, looking at her burning, crying, saying, what great city was like unto her. So some people are going to make it through and be on the other side looking at her burn. Now either you on the inside where the chaos is while it's happening, or you on the outside crying about all your memories and all the people you left. But you're going to be one of the two. You're not going to be either or. I mean, you're not going to be both. You're going to be one of the two. And I'll tell you, through the grace of the Most High, a lot of people are going to rise up based on this squeeze. And they're going to start, see, some people don't want to admit that they might be wrong about something. So they're going to put it out there like, you know, we're just going out just to see how things is. Just, you know, we're going to take a trip. But really, they're looking at long-term plans. Instead of admitting like, well, you know, maybe we looked at these scriptures wrong, they will be like, you know, just going to take a trip. And I think that we're going to see a lot of brothers and sisters very, very soon. Read.
Verse 14. The Most High of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee.
It's talking about the armies that will go against America. Let's go down to the 28th verse.
Verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of the Most High shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant.
Hold up. He will make Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. That means no people left. When did this happen in ancient Babylon? There's people in Iraq right now, brothers and sisters. No inhabitants. That means no people. It says the Medes are going to be behind this. Right? Last scripture. Then we'll open up for questions. Go to Ezekiel 52. Hold up, let me get it here. Where it talks about standing afar off. Let me get it. In Jeremiah. Here it is right here. Go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50, that's it. And read the 23rd verse.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23.
Read.
How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? That means America is the hammer of the whole earth. It comes down on every part of the earth. So Jeremiah is asking, how can this country be broken? That's what the Most High is putting through the spirit of Jeremiah. This place was a hammer of the whole earth. How is it broken? when it was the strongest, mightiest, greatest army, it was broken from the inside. They started spreading their young men over all the earth, and that weakened them. Then NATO started empowering an international army. So America lost its strength a long time ago. NATO is the strength now. Read.
How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? America will be desolate. No, hold up, brother. Let's stop this for a second. The Roman Catholic Church will be desolate.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
There's no people in the Roman Catholic Church. It's totally desolate now.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Babylon is the earth. The whole earth is desolate now.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
There's no inhabitants in the earth now because the earth is Babylon.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Where's the Pope? The Pope is gone. There's nobody in the Roman Catholic Church.
How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Boy, this Roman Catholic Church thing, this earth thing is really getting to me now because I don't see it. Maybe somebody has sent a few, maybe they'll send a few letters and give me some understanding on this. So one brother said that Babylon was the earth. So there's no more people? Are we philosophizing or... Well, finish reading. Let's see if we can clear this up.
Verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Most High.
They have went against the Most High. Homosexuals marrying each other. Read.
The Most High have opened his armory.
He has opened his armory. That's war. Go ahead.
And have brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
Nuclear missiles. Read.
For this is the work of the Most High power of hosts, and the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost hordes upon her storehouses.
It says the utmost border. That means come against her borders.
Cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly.
Destroy her utterly in what?
Let nothing be left. Nothing of her be left.
And let nothing of her be left. That's the earth right there. That's the Roman Catholic Church. Read.
Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation.
Read.
The voice of them that flee and escape out of Babylon.
Hold up. I mean, the people that flee and escape has a voice now? So these are the people who left before it happened. Read it.
The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon.
What will they declare?
To declare in Zion the vengeance of the Most High, our power, the vengeance of his temple.
So those that have escaped will sit and see her burning and declare that the Most High fulfilled his promise. Those are those who escaped and left out. These are not people who escaped the Roman Catholic Church or escaped the earth. These are people that had enough sense to know it was time to go. And now, these people have been empowered on another level, seeing the prophecies of the Most High. So now, they're empowered by the Most High to declare to the rest of the world, you are next. We were in Babylon, we told them what was happening there. Look at them now. You are next. After they get destroyed, we're going to be telling people what's going on with the 10 horns. Okay? They're going to be next. And they're going to be hunting people down and trying to give them chips all over the earth. They're going to go against Africa and try to slaughter Africa, a mass slaughter in Africa. That's after America is already gone. The 10 horns will still have power 1 hour with the beast. So where are the UFOs in all this? So, brothers, the majority of people get upset with us because we came and showed the Most High's name. That's the key thing. And every Israelite group out there was calling him something else. And even I was when I was a part of those particular doctrines until we found the truth. So that was the main thing that started hatred towards our teachings. And then it came through everything else, even up to Babylon, leaving Babylon, where the Bible expressly say get out of her and what's going to happen to her. I'm going to that Satan is the white man and the devil is the white man and there is no such thing as hell. Well, the question is, okay, how can the same guys that say there is no such thing as hell claim that somebody have a demon on them? Okay, so where do demons come from? And why did Christ tell this demon to cast them into the swine opposed to casting them into hell? Instead of casting them into the depths of hell. If there was no hell to be cast to, what did the spirit fear? Where did spirits come from? And guess what? The same people that teach that there was no such thing as angels sleeping with women and bringing forth Nephilim. They teach the same thing the Catholic Church teach on that. They teach that those were the sons of Seth dealing with the daughters of Cain. But yet they go against the Catholic Church. Okay? So we just put this out there, brothers and sisters. Don't expect Israelites to come together. All Israelites do not have the same doctrine. They never had the same doctrine. You just have to find the doctrine of truth and stick with it. That's what you need to do. Or you become what you would call implants. You see, Christ wasn't taken down by himself. He had Pharisees and scribes and their little followers and cohorts coming amongst Christ, reporting back to Christ. Reporting back to the Pharisees and scribes, and they eventually stirred them up against Christ. And that's what happens in this earth today. You have people that come up, really believers in other things, but come amongst to report what's being taught. You have that. We know you out there. We also have the other ones who are just confused, and they just want Israelites to come together, and they're going to be so confused and frustrated when it don't happen, they're going to go back to what they were dealing with at first. That's what happens. You frustrated yourself. Who told you to follow all these different groups on YouTube? And are going to all these different doctrines, and now you're frustrated and upset because you don't know what's the truth. You did that to yourself. So let's open this up for questions now. You also have the Jehovah's Witnesses saying there is no hell.
What about Luke 16 when he talked about?
What about Luke 16? To them, that's a metaphor. Your punishment in Jehovah's Witnesses, you be put to sleep. You just sleep forever. And some people who love sleep, man, they don't find that such a bad proposition. It just be sleep, no punishment, okay. You had this dude that came up with, Charles Taze Russell, who came up with the doctrine that what type of loving God would allow such punishment. So in his thwarted mind, because he couldn't foresee the loving God he was taught doing such things, he made it doctrine. That was his personal pet peeve against what he was reading in the Bible. He couldn't see how a loving God would allow such torment, so that can't be so. Because of him, who are you? You don't know the mind of the Most High. The Most High don't choose people to go to hell. People choose to go to hell. All right, here are some of the questions. There's other false doctrines. You got brothers out there saying that the 10 tribes that traveled into the Americas, according to 2nd Ezra 13 and 39, are not Israelites, that all Israelites are black Negroid. So my question is, give me the scripture or understanding, Israelites, on how the Indian tribes got to the New World. Because there were no people on the other side. Ham, Shem, and Japheth were in the old world, and I can show you exactly where they went when the boat landed on Mount Ararat. So the question is, if all the people came out of the boat through Ham, Shem, and Japheth, how did those people get over to the New World, into America? If they're not the tribe of Israel. So you give me that understanding, saying that the Indian tribes are not Israelites. Or you believe the lie of the Jewish people who came up with the Bering Strait teaching, that the Indians walked through the Bering Strait from Asia. Or you will follow that lie. So you will say that they're liars, but you will follow their lie. And they put that lie out to stop people from believing that the Indian tribes were Israelites, because they were claiming to be Jews. So they wanted to take the identity, so they lied and said that they were Japheth. And see, if you have one lie, then we must go into the next lie. Okay, if the Indian tribes went through the Bering Strait and they were black Chinese people, and they came in through Alaska, what is white people doing over there in Russia right now? Shouldn't the original people of Russia be black Chinese people? See, when you start a lie, that opens you up to ask the next question, because those Eskimos look black. So if these black Eskimos that went through the Bering Strait are Asian, who are these people in Russia? Okay?